आज हम लोग बातचीत करेंगे हीट एक्सचेंजर पे। होप स्क्रीन इज विजिबल, ओके, एंड यू all are able to see. So in the heat exchanger, what is the definition of heat exchanger? This is nothing but a device to transfer heat from hot fluid to cold fluid, right? Now, as far as types, different types are concerned, you will find the first type is direct heat transfer, in which heat flow via solid separating wall of any suitable shape, right? The second type is storage type. In this type of heat exchanger, the hot and cold fluid flow alternatively through the matrix. There will be some matrix type. Let me tell you what is happening. Suppose this is the heat exchanger. This is the device, okay, and there is a matrix, let's say, of some material which has some heat capacity to retain the heat. So this is the matrix of some material. Now suppose there is inlet of hot fluid and this is outlet of hot fluid, and there would be valve, some kind of valve is there, okay, so that you can regulate, means open either or close, okay. So this is valve, and right here too there is a valve. So what will happen, and this is for hot fluid going inside the matrix, and this is also for hot fluid. So once there is a valve, there is a inlet for, this is the inlet for cold fluid, there is also valve, and this is for outlet of cold fluid. All right. Now, what you will do alternatively? What is the meaning of alternatively? That first you must close this valve for cold fluid. Okay, this is related to cold fluid. First, these must be closed. So this valve and this valve you have to keep closed and open the hot valve. Okay, hot fluid valve. So what will happen? The hot fluid flow and move through the matrix, and then its outlet is right here. So hot fluid will move out. So in this way, this will heat up these matrix. These matrix will take up the heat from hot fluid. Okay, then close the hot streamline valve, and then open the cold fluid valve. Okay, once you open the cold fluid valve, it will also move through the matrix and it will extract the heat from the matrix, and hence it will heat up and come out from the heat exchanger through outlet. So in this way you can heat up your cold fluid, okay, by alternatively passing hot and cold fluid through the matrix. So this is kind of a storage type, okay. Direct heat transfer type, suppose you are transferring the heat. So this is the hot fluid going inside pipe, and cold fluid outside. So this is the valve, and through valve the heat transfer will take place. So this is the direct transfer type. Now direct contact type, in direct contact type, two fluids are not separated. So two fluids are not separated, meaning suppose you have liquid and gas, so you will bring this into contact, one is hot and one is cold, so heat will transfer from hot to cold. Now as far as uh, analysis is concerned, we majorly use in industry the direct transfer type. In the direct transfer type, basically means heat flow will happen through separating valve, okay, through separating valve between hot fluid and cold fluid. Now this direct transfer type heat exchanger could be of three types. One is tubular, means concentric tube, double pipe, one tube inside other, like this. So this is, and you know So this is the concentric tube, tubular. Okay, one tube inside another tube. Second type of heat exchanger in the direct transfer types, the plate type heat exchanger. In this, what will happen? Series of thin plates clamped together to form narrow parallel channels. Let me show you. So as the name implies, there will be plates. So you will find like this. This is the plate type heat exchanger. You will find different plates are there and clamped together. Okay, so heat transfer will take place via this plane surface. So that's why this is called, since heat transfer is taking place through plane wall. So this is called plate type heat exchanger. Now, the rest is another is extended surface. Suppose we want to increase the surface area to increase the heat transfer. So either gas side mostly we use. This will have a lower heat transfer coefficient. So on this side we will use the fins um, to improve the heat transfer rate in the heat exchanger. So this is the extended surface type heat exchanger. Okay, so these are the types. Now, as far as tubular is concerned, there are two types. One is concentric tube or double pipe heat exchanger. Means, this is something that is one tube inside other tube. And second is cell and tube. Means consist of cylindrical cell and bundles of tube inside cell. मतलब कई बंडल्स ऑफ ट्यूब होगी, एक ट्यूब नहीं होगी. तो देखो कैसे यहाँ पे दिखाई दे रहा होगा आपको bundles of tubes. So in the bundles of tubes, now you will find that so many tubes are there. Okay, so many tubes are there, and these are connected through tube seats. So this is the tube plate, and this is the header. Okay, header. This is the header, and this side also header would be there. And this is the inlet and outlet. So these are called in technical language nozzles, and these are the baffles which will ensure the cell side fluid will make the contact better. So cell side fluid will move in the random fashion. So randomness will increase. Randomness means entropy will increase, thermodynamic stuff. And entropy is what? Entropy, how will you define the entropy? D is integral del Q. Q is not state function, so we cannot write dq, del Q over D, and sometime you take like this. So what entropy is increasing due to randomness. So this is the use of Wafer and thermodynamics connection. So once you increase the entropy, then heat will increase. So heat will increase, heat transfer will increase. Okay, so Baffle also helps thermodynamically to increase the heat transfer. Okay, so these are the different parts, and I have mentioned it, different parts. So cell and tube consist of cylindrical cell and bundles of tube inside cell. So मैंने बताया एक तो two main elements होगा जिसमें cylindrical cell होगा और bundle of tubes होगा, ये चीज हो गई. Axis of tubes are parallel to the axis of the cell. नेक्स्ट चीज क्या होगी? ट्यूब हेडर सीट होगी जिसमें ट्यूब को फिक्स किया जाएगा, वो हमने आपको दिखा दिया. एंड फ्रंट एंड रियर इंड्स हेड मैंने आपको दिखाया था इसमें. तो दिस इज द फ्रंट हेड, this is the front head, and this is the rear head. Okay, so front and rear head, better you can see right here in this is the front head and this is the rear head. Okay, and set of tubes inside and cell. So these are the different parts. And nozzles, I told you the nozzles is nothing but the inlet and outlets. And baffles is nothing but the seats that ensure zigzag flow of cell side fluid inside cell over all tubes. The zigzag flow ensure randomness. Randomness will increase entropy. Entropy will increase heat transfer, and that's why you are using the baffles. Now see how zigzag it will provide motion. Suppose cell side fluid will move like this, and then it will change its course, then it will move like this, then it will move like this. So zigzag path it will provide. Okay, so these are the things that we are using in the cell and tube heat exchanger. Now see, in the cell and tube heat exchanger, there are many tubes and many cells could be also. But in concentric tube or double pipe, there is only one tube inside other tube. So I will do the analysis for this, and then I will extend this analysis to cell and tube exchanger by using the factor that is called the F. Means the equation is Q is equal to UA, sometime delta T Ln people are using, but one more factor will come into picture. So this is for this. Now to move from this side to this side means concentric tube or double pipe to cell and tube heat exchanger, we use the factor F. Now in the last lecture, okay, last lecture, since you know the governing equation is nothing but the Q is equal to UA and delta T, but this delta T will not remain constant, so this is in the question. Now U, I have explained this, 1 upon U is this much. Okay, so different resistances on cold fluid side, resistances cold fluid size, this will comprise cold fluid size resistances, these two terms. So one is related to the fouling resistance, and one is related to convective resistance. But if you are using fin also, then you will replace area with overall efficiency and total area. So whatever we have done, so 1 upon HA in आप वैसे लिखते, but अब आप A को replace कर दिया eta naught A से, so this will become 1 upon eta naught HC, and this will become RFC double dash upon eta naught A, because R double dash FC upon A would be the fouling resistance, but again A you have to replace with eta naught everywhere, so eta naught AC. And RW, this is the wall resistance. So this suppose plate type heat exchanger, then you will use the resistance related to plate, and if it's cylindrical, then you will use cylindrical. So I have retained it as RW. And similarly, this is for hot side. Hot side, two resistances on the hot side. One is fouling, and another is convective resistance. Convective resistance, two on the cold side, okay, and one for for the wall. Now so I have discussed about this. What is U? Now U is clear from here. Now U A, okay, and then delta T. What is delta T? This I will put the question mark. So what could be delta T? Because in the heat exchanger, what will happen that cold fluid while moving from left to right, you will see that cold fluid, suppose parallel flow, so cold fluid will gain heat, okay, and hot fluid will lose heat, okay, because cold fluid is moving, so it will pick up throughout the length the heat from the hot fluid, so it will heat up and its temperature will change. So delta T is different between these two at every place. So what delta T you will take? This is the question. So analysis of heat exchanger, we will move towards analysis. So this is the good picture where you can see that tube side fluid, how it's moving, going there like this, and then how it is moving, cell side fluid, how it is moving. And this is a 3D picture, and tube bundles fully visible, and cell is also visible. Now I would like to take, so understand this figure, that is the 2D figure. So hot fluid going inside, right, hot fluid red, and cold fluid counter flow. This is counter flow because this is anti-parallel line. So flow pattern, based on flow pattern, heat exchanger, if this type of flow between hot and cold fluid flowing parallelly, then parallel flow heat exchanger, And if this is flowing in this way, then you know, anti-parallel flow, you can say, or any other name you can give. And cross flow means flow at some angles. It could be at 90 most. So these are the things. Now you see that cold fluid is moving on the cell side. This is cell, means at on the in the annular region, and hot fluid moving in the tube side. So once it cold fluid will move, it will pick up the heat from hot fluid, and hence its temperature will increase, and it will move out from the cell right here. And hot fluid, since it is moving from left to right, so it will lose the heat because it will transfer the heat via wall to the cold fluid along the length. So it will lose the heat. So along the length, its temperature will decrease from inlet to outlet. Okay. So this is the diagram that will illustrate you that how the heat flow is taking place. Now, tell me that now. Analysis of heat exchanger is the next topic that we are going to discuss. Analysis of heat exchanger. Now tell me that now this will require the basics of energy balance. In energy balance, we will use basically enthalpy balance. Right? Means we are neglecting, but kinetic energy, potential energy, neglecting. Why? Why we neglect that? Yes, please. Now I want to ask you, and I want answer from all of you. हाँ बताइए, प्रशांत, प्रशांत, आनंद राय, बताइए बेटा क्यों हम नेग्लेक्ट करते हैं? ऑडियो ऑन कर लीजिए जिसे मैं कहूं। अधीर शोंकर, आयुष, अमित सिंह।
यस सर।
हाँ बताइए बेटा, हम काइनेटिक एनर्जी और पोटेंशियल एनर्जी को क्यों नेग्लेक्ट करते हैं?
सब पता नहीं सर, आज काफी टाइम बाद मैं क्लास अटेंड कर रहा हूँ।
तो क्लास अटेंड कर रहे हो, काफी टाइम हो गया। काइनेटिक एनर्जी मैंने तो पढ़ा होगा ना कभी?
यस सर।
हाँ, तो काइनेटिक एनर्जी, पोटेंशियल एनर्जी बहुत जगह पे नेग्लेक्ट किया होगा आपने।
यस सर।
हाँ, तो वही मैं पूछ रहा हूँ कि क्यों करते हैं।
काइनेटिक एनर्जी तो नेग्लेक्ट करते हैं जब किसी भी चीज की वेलोसिटी से बहुत कम होती है, नेग्लिजिबल होती है।
वो कैसे पता करोगे बेटा? अब फ्लूइड का फ्लो तो हो रहा है, तो फिर तो वेलोसिटी होगी। How will you decide that you should neglect the, kinetic energy? कुलदीप, कुलदीप।
यस सर।
हाँ बताइए बेटा,
सर
काइनेटिक
हम
एनर्जी,
इंटरनल एनर्जी को
पोटेंशियल
कंसीडर नहीं करते, इसलिए नेग्लेक्ट कर देते हैं, और काइनेटिक एनर्जी और पोटेंशियल एनर्जी इंटरनल एनर्जी
नहीं
होती है।
नहीं, इंटरनल एनर्जी तो हम कंसीडर करेंगे बेटा,
सर
बट
फ्लूइड की
हम
इंटरनल एनर्जी
काइनेटिक
कंसीडर
एनर्जी,
नहीं करेंगे ना, और ये काइनेटिक और
जब हम,
पोटेंशियल तो फ्लूइड की इंटरनल एनर्जी
सुनो
में आएगी।
सुनो, तो हम एंथैल्पी बैलेंस लगाएंगे, और एंथैल्पी बैलेंस में हम देखो 3 टाइप की एनर्जी बेसिकली हम लेते हैं, काइनेटिक एनर्जी, पोटेंशियल एनर्जी, इंटरनल एनर्जी। बट हम इसमें जो है काइनेटिक एनर्जी, पोटेंशियल एनर्जी को हीट एक्सचेंजर एनालिसिस में नेग्लेक्ट करेंगे। तो दैट्स व्हाई आई एम आस्किंग, एट सेवरल प्लेसेस यू आर नेग्लेक्टिंग kinetic energy, potential energy. So what's the logic behind it? You are neglecting just as a something कि memorize कर लिया, enthalpy balance ही लगाना है energy balance की जगह पर। Any idea about it?
नो सर।
Okay. दीक्षा यादव, अतुल कुमार, ये लोग क्लास में नहीं हैं। ओके। अश्मिता यादव,
यस सर।
हाँ बताइए बेटा, काइनेटिक एनर्जी पोटेंशियल एनर्जी को क्यों नेग्लेक्ट करते हैं, कब करेंगे और कब नहीं करेंगे नेग्लेक्ट?
सर आई डोंट नो अबाउट इट।
अच्छा, स्वाति वर्मा,
यस सर।
हाँ बताइए बेटा, क्यों नेग्लेक्ट करते हैं काइनेटिक एनर्जी पोटेंशियल एनर्जी?
सर पता नहीं।
और किसी को पता है तो बता दो बेटा। और किसी को कोई क्यों नेग्लेक्ट करते हैं, नहीं आइडिया? विश्वजीत कुमार सिंह,
यस सर।
हाँ बताइए बेटा, काइनेटिक एनर्जी, वी हैव 3 टाइप्स ऑफ एनर्जी basically we are using in the fluid analysis. One is internal energy, kinetic energy, and potential energy. So we are neglecting kinetic and potential energy. Why? In most of the cases. So I think I should teach you first the energy balance, and then we must proceed further. Because the basic is weak, then nothing will happen. Okay. So listen carefully and hope your doubt will be clear. When to neglect, why to neglect, and all those things. तो ऑडियो ऑफ कर लो अपना अपना, और हम बताने जा रहे हैं एनर्जी बैलेंस। Basically, first listen carefully that energy is often defined as the capacity of a system to do work. Okay, and hope all of you are agree with this. Okay, capacity to do work, right? Capacity to do work. So I will write what is energy? Capacity to do work. All right. Work on surrounding system की हम एनर्जी की बात कर रहे हैं, तो सराउंडिंग सिस्टम सराउंडिंग आ जाएगा. Now you know energy has many forms. Energy has many forms, but the 3 most important to chemical engineers are kinetic energy, potential energy, and internal energy. All right. Now the first law of thermodynamics states that energy neither be created nor destroyed, but that it can be readily transformed between the different types of energy. Right? So, what is kinetic energy? That you know, kinetic energy is the energy that a system has due to motion of the system as a whole. Motion of the system as a whole. ये मैं कह रहा हूँ, इंटरनल एनर्जी में जो मोशन होगा वो इनसाइड सिस्टम होगा, डिफरेंट एटम्स मॉलिक्यूल्स मूव कर रहे होंगे, ट्रांसलेशनल, वाइब्रेशनल, ओके, एटॉमिक लेवल, मॉलिक्यूलर लेवल का मोशन होगा. दिस इज द मोशन ऑफ द सिस्टम एज ए होल relative to its surrounding, because velocity is relative parameter, so relative to its surrounding. अगेन हम ये एकदम पढ़ समझ लो, नहीं तो ये चीजें आती नहीं आप तो दिक्कत होगी, है ना. सो मोशन ऑफ द सिस्टम एज ए होल relative to its surrounding, ये दिमाग में बैठा. And the kinetic energy is quantified as half mv square. Okay, now potential energy क्या होती है? Potential energy is the energy, okay, an object has due to its position, due to its potential energy. कैसे define करोगे? Potential energy बहुत जगह आपको मिलेगी. So this is nothing but energy due to position of the object, due to position where within potential field. इलेक्ट्रिसिटी पढ़ते हो वहां भी पोटेंशियल एनर्जी पढ़ते हो, तो वहां पे इलेक्ट्रिक फील्ड होती है. वैसे ही विद इन पोटेंशियल फील्ड, यहाँ ग्रेविटेशनल फील्ड पोटेंशियल फील्ड है, पोटेंशियल विद इन पोटेंशियल फील्ड. सो अगर पोटेंशियल फील्ड यहाँ पे ग्रेविटेशनल फील्ड है, देन एनर्जी वुड बी ग्रेविटेशनल पोटेंशियल एनर्जी, एंड दैट्स डिफाइंड एज P is equal to mgh. Okay, h is the height, g is the gravitational acceleration, and m is the mass. Now what is internal energy? So this is kinetic energy and this is potential energy, and these are defined as system as a whole. Now what is internal energy? Internal energy. What is internal energy? Now this internal energy, all atoms and molecules move. This is the system. So then all atoms and molecules move randomly with the extent of motion depending on the temperature and pressure of the system. Temperature and pressure of the atoms and molecules. Okay. So the motion that will include, these motions will include what? Translational. See, this is the micro level motion, okay? Atomic, molecular level motion. Translational, vibrational, and rotational. Translational means along some direction they will orient. Vibrational, either left to right vibrate or up to down vibrate. Okay. Rotational, rotating about some axis. Okay, so these are the things, these types of motion will contribute. Okay, will contribute in internal energy. So just like I told you that kinetic energy with some reference point, because velocity is relative quantity. Potential energy with respect to some reference point. Suppose this is the reference state, and from reference to this at height h, then this is mgh. Okay. Very similar to that, reference also you need to mention with respect to internal energy. But internal energy is due to what? Pressure and temperature of the system. So the reference you will specify with respect to pressure and temperature. Okay. Now chemical engineer will prefer, now to evaluate internal energy you will take some reference temperature and pressure. Now chemical engineer prefer to use the quantity enthalpy instead of internal energy, and that is defined as S is equal to U internal energy plus B. B means volume. So this is the energy that is required to displace the B volume of the fluid. Okay, and U is the internal energy. So that you must understand. Now this S that we are representing, this is the state function, will depend on the states, 2 point. This is not the path function. Okay, because U is the state function and PV is the state function, so S is the state function. Okay, all right. So this is some. Now I would like to tell you some some notation also. We use ascent to specify a specific thing, like a specific volume, like this. Okay, a specific volume means per unit mass. Per unit mass either or mole, per unit mole. So very similar to that, if we write it in a specific form, what you will get is specific enthalpy per unit mass or per unit mole is equal to specific internal energy. P is the extensive variable, and this B specific value. So like internal energy, enthalpy is also a state function. State function it will depend on the state. State means pressure and temperature. So S should be the function of pressure and temperature. So since it is the state function, you cannot get its absolute value. So you need to get the difference between two different at 2 points enthalpy you can calculate. So you must take some reference, just like velocity with respect to some reference, enthalpy some reference. So you need to specify reference temperature and pressure. Suppose reference temperature you are taking, suppose 1 degree Celsius or something else, whatever, it's depend on you. But once you select the reference temperature and pressure, we stick to that. You can take normal temperature, pressure, whatsoever, while calculating the enthalpy. Now, what is the general energy balance equation? Now, after explaining, but I will be neglecting what? I will be neglecting now 3 types of energy. I told you internal energy, kinetic energy, and potential energy. I would like to neglect kinetic energy and potential energy. So how we could do that, and when we could do it? To do this, to understand this, let me tell you. Consider the internal energy is associated, we write is enthalpy just at just at PV terms, and kinetic energy, potential energy. So we will neglect in comparison to enthalpy, kinetic energy and potential energy go together. Now why and how to understand this? I will take example to explain that. Suppose we will consider the change in enthalpy associated with heating of 1 kilogram of water 1 degree Celsius. 1 degree Celsius आप heat करते हो. Suppose 20 degree Celsius से to 21 degree Celsius आप अगर water को heat करते हो, तो enthalpy कितनी लगेगी? If you calculate for water, you will get the value of Cp and all that, delta T here, and M is given. Once you calculate, then you will find this will need 4.2 kilojoule heat. Okay, means 4.2 kilojoule heat per means we need 4.2 kilojoule to heat 1 kilogram of water. Okay, all right. So, however, 4.2 kilojoule is also the same amount. Now, this energy, 4.2 kilojoule amount of energy, अगर आप प्रोड्यूस करना चाहते हो किससे? काइनेटिक मीन्स से, काइनेटिक एनर्जी के थ्रू, तो क्या करोगे? मीन्स just try to understand, 4.2 kilojoule is also the same amount of energy associated with 1 kilogram of water traveling at a speed of 1 kilogram water लो, और आप half mv square से निकालो, तो 1 kilogram water ले लो, half 1 kilogram water, and b को ऐसे लिख रख दो, b square is equal to 4.2 kilojoule. किलोजूल इसको ले लो, तो अब इसको कन्वर्ट कर लो, है ना, बी के यूनिट में. तो बी का पहले यूनिट कन्वर्ट कर लो, फिर यूनिट कन्वर्ट करने के बाद में बी स्क्वायर क्या हो जाएगा? 2 से मल्टीप्लाई करोगे तो 8.2 kilojoule, and once you convert it into b square terms, then you will, what would be the b? B would be, you get the b value 330 मीटर, 330 इवन किलोमीटर में चला जाएगा. बी की वैल्यू मिल गया 330 किलोमीटर पर आवर. मतलब क्या हुआ? समझने वाली बात है कि 330 किलोमीटर पर आवर से अगर आपका फ्लूइड मूव कर रहा है, तब उसकी एनर्जी इतनी होगी 4.2 किलोजूल, जो कि एंथैल्पी चेंज 4.2 किलोजूल लाने के लिए इसमें 20 से जस्ट 21 डिग्री सेल्सियस किया और आपको इतना एनर्जी मिल गया. यहाँ पे इतनी ही एनर्जी लाने के लिए 330 किलोमीटर पर आवर की स्पीड से, ये बहुत तेज स्पीड, इतनी स्पीड से किसी भी प्लांट में फ्लूइड मूव नहीं करता, इसके आसपास भी नहीं मूव कर सकता. दैट्स व्हाई वी आर नेग्लेक्टिंग with respect to enthalpy the kinetic energy. Every plant, हमेशा आप नेग्लेक्ट कर देते हो, ऑलमोस्ट 99.9% केसेस में आप नेग्लेक्ट कर सकते हो. अब आप mgs से निकाल लो, mgs से 4.2 किलो जूल, यहाँ पे m की वैल्यू रखो, g की वैल्यू रखो, m को 1 रख दो और g की वैल्यू रखो, और देखो h कितना आ रहा है. तो h जो है you will get h, that you will get same amount of energy अगर प्रोड्यूस करना है associated with a kilogram of water at a height 424, you will get 424 मीटर. 424 मीटर. आप किसी भी प्लांट में जाओगे तो आपको 100 मीटर भी हाइट नहीं मिलेगी, और ये 424 मीटर हाइट पे जाके इसे टक्कर दे पाएगा एंथैल्पी चेंज. तो इसका मतलब है इतनी हाइट नहीं मिलेगी और इतना वेलोसिटी फ्लूइड का नहीं होगा, तो हम नेग्लेक्ट कर सकते हैं एंथैल्पी के कंपैरिजन में, है ना. सोचा कि ये तरीका है समझने का. तो as material never travel through the plant at any speed approaching 330 kilometer per hour, and no plant is more than 100 meter height, so they can then we can safely ignore any changes associated with changes in kinetic and potential energies and setting up energy balances. Okay, so you understand or not? Hope you people understand now very clearly that why we are neglecting the potential energy, kinetic energy in comparison to enthalpy. अब बताओ मुझे समझ में आया कि नहीं आया? आयुष समझ में आया बेटा? हेलो.
यस सर.
समझ आ गया कि क्यों नेग्लेक्ट करते हैं?
यस सर.
अखिलेश कुमार मौर्य समझ में आया बेटा? अमित सिंह समझ में आया? आनंद राय?
यस सर.
आशीष चंद, सभी को समझ में आ गया? अश्मिता यादव, डिड यू गेट इट? दीक्षा, समझ में आ गया बेटा? इतना हाइट का प्लांट नहीं होता और ना ही इतनी ज्यादा स्पीड होती है फ्लूइड फ्लो की, इसके आसपास भी हम नहीं पहुंचते, इसलिए हम काइनेटिक एनर्जी और पोटेंशियल एनर्जी को सेफली इग्नोर कर देते हैं इन कंपैरिजन टू एंथैल्पी. तो ये चीज अब आपके समझ में आ गई. अब दिमाग में अगर ये चीज बैठ गई है तो आप देखो, तो अब हम जो एनर्जी बैलेंस लिखने जा रहे हैं तो हम उसको कैसे लिखेंगे? देखो, एनर्जी बैलेंस एक्यूमुलेशन ऑफ एनर्जी. सपोज एक्यूमुलेशन ऑफ एनर्जी होता है रेट ऑफ चेंज इन एनर्जी, तो हम बेसिकली इंटरनल एनर्जी में चेंज ही लिखेंगे उसको, क्योंकि सिस्टम की इंटरनल एनर्जी में चेंज. नेक्स्ट क्या लिखेंगे? सिग्मा इनलेट्स होगा और आउटलेट्स होगा. तो इनलेट्स, तो इसमें क्या होगा? सपोज फ्लो रेट अगर एफ है, एफ फ्लो रेट मान रहे हैं इनलेट पे जितनी स्ट्रीम्स है, और यू आई स्पेसिफिक ले रहे हैं, तभी तो मल्टीप्लाई करेंगे तो पूरे के लिए आ जाएगा 5ui, एंड वर्क जो था वो पीवी, बी इज द स्पेसिफिक वॉल्यूम, देन अगेन यू हैव टू मल्टीप्लाई विद फ्लो रेट, देन ये हो गया आपका. अब यहाँ पर हमने काइनेटिक एनर्जी, पोटेंशियल एनर्जी नेग्लेक्ट कर दी है, केवल हम इंटरनल एनर्जी ले रहे हैं और फ्लो वर्क ले रहे हैं. नाउ विद द सेम स्ट्रीम, for same stream it will have an internal energy as well as kinetic potential energy, but that could be neglected in comparison to internal energy, so I have not written that. And the work associated with that is PVI. We have taken Fi PVI, we are taking those things. Now the same thing would be with outlet. So outlet, so this is for inlet streams and this is for outlet stream. आउटलेट स्ट्रीम के लिए लिखेंगे तो क्या हो जाएगा बेटा? Fi ui, सेम एक्सप्रेशन फॉर द आउटलेट, सो Fi PVI, PIVI. ओके, तो एवरी स्ट्रीम. सो ये तो हो गया आउटलेट के लिए जो हम यूज करेंगे. तो इनलेट माइनस आउटलेट. नाउ इफ फ्रॉम सराउंडिंग टू सिस्टम, इफ हीट इज some heat is transferred, then Q dot. And suppose if you are using some pumps, compressors or turbines, then there would be some soft work. Okay, soft work. And if there is some chemical reaction, then would be depending on exothermic or endothermic. There would be some either what type of reaction it is. Depending on that, you will have generation of energy or consumption of energy. So or consumption of energy. So this is the energy balance equation that you are using, but here we have not considered. This is very useful equation throughout chemical engineering you need to use. Now U plus PV को हम combine कर सकते हैं, that is enthalpy. So delta E. Now I am going to write this equation in the more compact form. Then we will get Fi Hi specific enthalpy at the inlet stream, all the inlet stream minus sigma for the output streams. You will be getting Fi Hi H plus Q dot plus Ws soft work plus E generation minus E consumption. ठीक है बच्चों, ये चीजें हो गई. अब हम थोड़ा सिंप्लिसिटी के लिए क्या लिख दें. अगर हम इसको, ये क्या है, इसको हम एक टर्म में लिखना चाहें तो डेल्टा लगाएंगे, डिफरेंस है इनलेट आउटलेट के बीच में. और जैसे डेल्टा लगाओगे तो ये आउटलेट माइनस इनलेट हो जाता है. दिस विल बी इक्वल टू माइनस डेल्टा और एफ एच इसी का तो है, एफ एच लिख दें तो माइनस डेल्टा एफ एच इसको लिख सकते हैं. तो दैट विल बिकम इनलेट माइनस आउटलेट, माइनस इसलिए साइन लगा दिया. सो लेट्स राइट. सो डेल्टा ई, that is accumulation term, delta E dot हम लिखेंगे तो this will be equal to what? Delta minus delta FH and minus delta FH plus Q plus WS plus E generation minus E consumption. Alright, so अगर कोई केमिकल रिएक्शन नहीं हो रहा है सिस्टम में, तो केमिकल रिएक्शन नहीं हो रहा है सिस्टम में, तो जनरेशन कंजम्पशन ये दोनों जीरो हो जाएगा. Alright, then equation will become delta E is equal to minus delta FH, F is the flow rate, plus Q plus WS soft work. Now, if the system is steady state, then the delta E dot time rate of change of any energy, and this is the rate of change of internal energy. So this would become zero at steady state, and these two will become zero when no reaction, no chemical reaction. So this is CRE में हम इसको यूज करेंगे. इसको यही एक चीज ध्यान में रखो, कॉन्सेप्चुअल मिस्टेक नहीं करनी है. तो ये चीजें हो गई. और तो ये नॉन रिएक्टिंग एनर्जी बैलेंस हो गया. अब मुझे बताओ, अगर कोई पंप नहीं है, कंप्रेशर नहीं है, तो हम क्या करेंगे. इफ नो पंप्स, कंप्रेशर, ओके, कुछ भी नहीं है, टरबाइन्स, तो क्या करेंगे. दिस विल बिकम जीरो. एंड इफ you have insulated, your system is perfectly insulated, हम आउटसाइड से हम इंसुलेट करेंगे उसको हीट एक्सचेंजर को. तो इन केस ऑफ इंसुलेटेड सराउंडिंग व्हाट यू विल गेट, इंसुलेटेड है तो ये भी जीरो हो जाएगा. तो यू विल गेट माइनस डेल्टा एफ एच इज इक्वल टू जीरो, माइनस यू विल गेट माइनस डेल्टा एफ एच मतलब चेंज इन एंथैल्पी है ये, इज इक्वल टू जीरो. यू कैन राइट डेल्टा एफ एच is equal to zero. So this is in difference between inlet and outlet enthalpy. So inlet enthalpy is equal to inlet enthalpy is equal to outlet enthalpy. So finally your equation, energy balance equation, return to enthalpy balance equation. In the heat exchanger, this I will use. That's all. Okay. So why we are going to use the enthalpy balance? Hope you understand. If any doubt, please ask. समझ गए क्यों एंथैल्पी बैलेंस ही यूज करते हैं अंडर व्हाट एजम्पशंस. हाँ आशीष चंद, समझ में आया या सो रहे हो. हाँ बेटा समझ में आया. किसी को कोई प्रॉब्लम हो तो पूछ लो. आई एम गिविंग यू फ्यू सेकंड. समझ आया तुम्हें?
जी सर.
हाँ, और किसी को कोई प्रॉब्लम हो तो बेटा पूछ सकते हो. अच्छा, तो अब हमें आगे बढ़ना चाहिए. अब हम LMTD एनालिसिस पे पहुंचते हैं. तुम लोगों को बहुत सी चीजें अभी जाननी है, सीखनी है. ऐसे काम नहीं बनता बस रट लिया है काइनेटिक, सिर्फ एंथैल्पी बैलेंस लगा देंगे हम. इंटरनल एनर्जी, पोटेंशियल, इंटरनल काइनेटिक एनर्जी एंड पोटेंशियल एनर्जी, फिर सिंपल. हाँ, तो ये बेटा काइनेटिक एनर्जी एंड पोटेंशियल एनर्जी ऐसे नहीं नेग्लेक्ट करते. किस कंडीशन में कैसे करते हैं, दैट यू अंडरस्टैंड नाउ. अब हम ओवरऑल हीट ट्रांसफर कोफिशिएंट बता दिए थे। अब सपोज आपने फिन वगैरह नहीं लगाया है तो देन व्हाट इज बी द रेसिस्टेंस आर टोटल। R total is equal to 1 upon UI AI. Suppose based on internal area we are writing, or UO AO based on external area, then you will get HI अगर हम कुछ भी नहीं यूज कर रहे हैं, एंड वॉल का रेसिस्टेंस लेंगे प्लस 1 upon HO AO। इसमें हमने फाउलिंग भी नहीं कंसीडर किया, फाउलिंग कंसीडर कर देंगे तो मोस्ट जनरल इक्वेशन आई टोल्ड यू। नाउ once you consider the fouling resistance as well as the fins, then you will have to replace fouling resistance term in inner pipe and outer pipe, so 2 term more will be added, and convection term and other terms you will replace. You know what, A will be replaced by eta not overall efficiency A. Okay, you will replace this in wherever you will find A, just you need to replace with this if you are analyzing the fin heat exchanger. Now let's analyze the case. Suppose this is the heat exchanger, so this is the wall through which heat will transfer, and hot fluid going inside, THI. I stands for inlet, okay, THI, and once it will be out, THO. Cold fluid in, that is TCI, and cold fluid out, TCO. All right. Now this is now capacity of the fluid. Now specific capacity, you know, then you will have to multiply with mass. So mass, you will multiply mass. So mCp hot fluid would be here, and mCp cold fluid for here. So these are the specifications of the variable. Now let's proceed. Now hot fluid will lose the heat because it will transfer the heat to the cold fluid via valve. So what will QH is equal to what, M dot Cp for hot fluid, and कितना टेम्परेचर में चेंज आएगा, THI minus THO. So this is the balance for hot fluid. Now what would be balance? Individual fluid पे पहले balance लगाओ, then cold fluid. Balance for cold fluid would be M dot Cp C TC. Now यहाँ पे आउटलेट जो कोल्ड फ्लूइड होगा उसका टेम्परेचर ज़्यादा हो जाएगा और इनलेट का तो कम होगा, because it will gain heat, and once it comes out, you will find the temperature of cold fluid has risen. Now this is the balance on cold fluid, this is the balance on hot fluid separately. Now while transferring the heat, let me tell you, now I will take this section, this particular section take, okay. This is the finite section, finite but yet small section we have taken of length delta x. Delta x length का हमने section ले लिया. Now this heat transfer area that we are interested to find out, let us consider this is delta A or dA. So a hot fluid will transfer heat to cold fluid. So heat transfer this way. So hot fluid lose the heat and cold fluid will gain the heat. So, and that heat will be transferred via wall through hot fluid to cold fluid. So what you can write the next equation. So this dq, let's say dq is transferred. So dq is the heat that is transferred via wall through the infinitesimal strip delta x. So this dq would be, now with respect to hot fluid, so suppose if something we are writing delta or d, then understand this is final minus initial, right? So since hot fluid temperature will decrease and cold fluid temperature will increase, so dq is equal to minus m dot cp minus m dot Cp hot and dTs. Why? Because hot fluid temperature will decrease, so this final minus initial क्या हो जाएगा, ये नेगेटिव हो जाएगा. टू मेक इट पॉजिटिव हमने माइनस से मल्टीप्लाई कर दिया. एंड कोल्ड फ्लूइड बिकॉज मैग्नीट्यूड वुड बी सेम, सो कोल्ड फ्लूइड कितना होगा, तो m dot Cp कोल्ड फ्लूइड टेम्परेचर विल राइज. So mCpC, so dTc, this is already part positive, so this you will get. So dt is the dTs is what, temperature difference in delta x region. यहाँ पे पॉइंट पे th और यहाँ पे लेंगे तो जो डिफरेंस होगा that is delta dth. Okay, now you need to understand this. Now dq, what you can write, dq in the overall heat transfer term, dq is equal to u, and u is the overall heat transfer coefficient, and a की जगह पे dA होगा, dA एरिया, एंड डेल्टा t की जगह पे हमें क्या लाना है वो देखना है. हॉट फ्लूइड एंड कोल्ड फ्लूइड के बीच टेम्परेचर डिफरेंस होगा, बट देखते हैं, लेट्स सी व्हाट इट इज. सो वी विल राइट इट एज d delta t. What is d delta t? dth minus dtc, and write dth from this equation. So dth from this equation is dq by, so this is minus dq by m dot cv hot fluid, and similarly you can take this and you can write dTc is equal to, so dTc is equal to what? dTc is equal to what? Minus dq minus sign is there already, so minus and dq by m dot cpc. So further simplify it further. So what you will get, this is equal to minus u delta t dA, take this common, and what you could write, because since I am writing this u minus u delta t dA is equal to this 1 upon mCp hot fluid plus 1 upon mCp C cold fluid. So this you will be getting. Now what you will get, d delta t upon delta t. Bring this on this side. What you will get, integrate it. So delta t inlet पे जो change है, and delta t outlet, these are the boundary condition. So you will integrate between these 2 points, and these at inlet delta t and outlet both are measurable quantity, you can easily measure. So minus u 1 upon m dot cp hot fluid plus 1 upon m dot cp cold fluid, and 0 to a area dA, that would be a. Now next, once you proceed, so integrate it and put the limit, so you will get ln natural log delta t out divided by outlet, and delta t inlet is equal to minus u 1 upon m dot cp hot fluid plus 1 upon m dot cp cold fluid. Now you know q is equal to m dot cp h thi minus tho is equal to m dot cp cold fluid tco minus tci, because tco is greater than tci. So you can write it as, this is equal to ua and delta t, some representative that we are going to find h. Okay, so we can write this. Now what you will do, in this equation itself we need to bring some changes. Okay, what changes? So ln delta t out upon delta t इन इज इक्वल टू माइनस यू ए, और हम यहाँ पे पुट कर देंगे, देखिए इस इक्वेशन से निकालिए, तो 1/m.cph यहाँ से क्या हो जाएगा वो रखिए, तो T1/this is equal to thi minus tho by q. Okay, so from this equation you can put it as thi minus tho by q plus tco minus tci by q. Hence you can write minus ua, q भी कॉमन ले लीजिए, minus ua by q, so thi minus tci minus tho minus tco. This you can write. And this is nothing but delta th in at inlet, difference at inlet and difference at outlet. So you can write minus ua by q delta t inlet minus delta t outlet. So you can write q is equal to ua delta t, I will call it LMTD. Now what is the UA from this equation? So delta t out minus in, delta t out minus in, delta t out minus delta t in, okay, divided by this ln. Okay, so ln delta t out, ln delta t out, delta t in. So this is the delta t lm. All right. So you got the value of delta t lm. That's why I have derived for parallel flow, and for counter flow, let me tell you also, for counter flow also. So what, suppose this is the flow is happening. तो यहाँ पे हॉट फ्लूइड इन कर रहा है तो THI, यहाँ पे हॉट फ्लूइड कोल्ड फ्लूइड इन कर रहा है TCI, यहाँ पे हॉट फ्लूइड आउट हो रहा है THO, यहाँ पे कोल्ड फ्लूइड आउट हो रहा है TCO. तो इस सेक्शन पे ले लो और इस सेक्शन पे ले लो, तो डिफरेंस बिटवीन THI minus TCI, see in this equation here, and here THO minus TCO, right? Similarly, at the section 1 and section 2, you will take in the counter flow as well. So in the counter flow, suppose counter flow, so THI and THO. अब देखना इस साइड से जिस साइड पे THO है उस साइड पे कोल्ड फ्लूइड हो जाएगा, because this is the counter flow. So TCI and TCO. Again you will take section 1, section 2. The difference, so how will you get the delta TLM? Delta TLM, logarithmic LMTD, what you will get? Logarithmic mean temperature difference. The delta T as the first section minus delta T as the second section divided by ln delta T first section divided by delta T second section. तो यहाँ पे डेल्टा टी क्या हो जाएगा THI माइनस TCO एंड फर्स्ट सेक्शन पे, और यहाँ पे सेकेंड सेक्शन है, सेकेंड सेक्शन पे THO माइनस TCI, ये हो जाएगा. So this is the LMTD analysis that you will find for fixed temperature. Now which one is better, parallel flow or counter flow? कौन सा better है? So let me tell you, you know, for fixed temperature and fixed Q, area required by counter flow you will find always less. Why less? Because you know, you need to find out delta T LMTD, and you will have to see which delta T LMTD is greater and which delta T LMTD is less. So since Q is equal to UA delta T LMTD, so you will find, so area is equal to A is equal to Q by UA delta T LM. अब एरिया जिसकी कम होगी जिसका डेल्टा TLM ज़्यादा होगा, तो डेल्टा TLM किस केस में ज़्यादा होता है? डेल्टा TLM ज़्यादा होता है काउंटर फ्लो के केस में, काउंटर फ्लो के केस में ज़्यादा होता है. देखो ग्राफ से भी आपको पता चल जाएगा, ग्राफ से कैसे पता चलेगा वो देखते हैं। तो डेल्टा TLM हॉट फ्लूइड टेम्परेचर विल डिक्रीज। यहाँ पे क्या होगा, कोल्ड फ्लूइड टेम्परेचर विल इंक्रीज। तो यहाँ पे देख रहे हो, यहाँ पे तो टेम्परेचर डिफरेंस ज़्यादा है, उसके बाद ये कम होता जाता है, कम होते 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 कम होता जाता है। तो डेल्टा TLMTD यहाँ पे फाइंड आउट करो, और डेल्टा TLMTD कहाँ पर फाइंड आउट करो, काउंटर फ्लो में। तो काउंटर फ्लो का ग्राफ देखो, टेम्परेचर और डिस्टेंस के बीच, तो आप पाओगे hot fluid will enter at this side and will go this side. ये इन करेगा this side and this side। तो यहाँ पे आप देखो ये जो डिफरेंस है ये लगभग मेंटेन रहता है, ज़्यादा ये। तो यहाँ पे डेल्टा TLMTD you will find more. So here delta TLMTD is more in case of counter flow, and hence the area required for heat transfer in case of counter flow is less. So less area means counter flow design would be cheaper than parallel flow. So we lead to this conclusion, that is counter flow design is cheaper than parallel flow design. So counter flow design is cheaper than parallel flow. Okay, so we reached at this conclusion. So this is the one thing that you need to understand. Now this is for cell and tube heat exchanger, but only one tube and one cell. We have done the analysis. Now what could be the delta TLMTD for cell and tube, where the number of tubes are more, that is the practical situation, number of tubes are more, and cells could be also more than one. So what you will do in that case? So what could be the delta TLMTD for cell and tube heat exchanger? I told you that we will bring right here the factor F. Now let's first write down the cell side variables. What is the cell side variable? Let's say the cell side variable TS temperature we are writing, S for cell, and inlet THI, TSI and TSO. So this is for hot fluid. Let's take hot fluid and the cell side. Okay, and tube side fluid. What could be the tube side fluid? Tube side fluid T, and tube के लिए हम T सबस्क्रिप्ट से लिखें, inlet I and T outlet O. So this is for cold fluid, let's say. अब हम देखेंगे कि हम F फैक्टर को कैसे डिफाइन करते हैं. So what would be F factor? So यहाँ पे डेल्टा TLMTD क्या होगा? डेल्टा TLMTD फाइंड आउट कर लें सेल एंड ट्यूब हीट एक्सचेंजर के लिए, ST के लिए, तो हमारा काम बन जाएगा. तो ये F होगा, डेल्टा TLMTD हम फाइंड आउट करेंगे, क्योंकि जब बहुत सारी ट्यूब्स होती है ना, तो उसमें ट्यूब्स होता है, सेल होता है, तो उसमें आप कुछ पैरेलल में होगा, कुछ एंटी पैरेलल में होगा, काउंटर फ्लो होगा किन्हीं दो स्ट्रीम में. क्योंकि पैरेलल और एंटी पैरेलल में तो आप कह सकते हो कि कई सारी स्ट्रीम्स अगर सारी पैरेलल है तो आप पैरेलल कह दोगे, बट कुछ अगर पैरेलल है, कुछ एंटी पैरेलल है और कुछ मिक्स्ड है, तो इन दैट केस इफ देयर आर सो मेनी ट्यूब्स देन इट्स डिफिकल्ट टू से द पैरेलल फ्लो अरेंजमेंट इज देयर और काउंटर फ्लो अरेंजमेंट इज देयर. So in that case, what you will consider, that you will take the inlet and outlet temperatures of hot and cold fluid, and you will evaluate the delta LMTD by assuming that there is a pattern of counter flow. Counter flow pattern, you can easily calculate the delta T LMTD. Okay, counter flow, and multiply with the factor F. That we will see very soon. What is this F? You must multiply this delta T LMTD for counter flow with F, and you will get the delta T LMTD for cell and tube heat exchanger. Now to define the F parameter, we need to define two parameters. Now one parameter is P and second parameter is T, R. So 2 parameter I will define this. Okay, then we will read off from the graph. So P is called temperature efficiency, temperature efficiency, right? And R is called relative thermal capacity, relative thermal capacity, hence first letter मैंने ले लिया R, relative thermal capacity, ये चीज ले ली। अब P को कैसे डिफाइन करते हैं, तो ये रेशियो ऑफ हमने लिया सेल साइड फ्लूइड का इनलेट माइनस आउटलेट, TSI माइनस TSO, ये हमने ले लिया। अब ये बताओ ट्यूब साइड मैक्सिमम पॉसिबल डिफरेंस कितना होगा, इफिशियंसी में डिनोमिनेटर में क्या आएगा, मैक्सिमम पॉसिबल टेम्परेचर डिफरेंस, तो वो क्या लेंगे, मैक्सिमम पॉसिबल टेम्परेचर डिफरेंस क्या होगा, जो आपका इनलेट है सेल साइड का और जो ट्यूब साइड का इनलेट है, अभी हीट ट्रांसफर स्टार्ट नहीं हुआ है, इनलेट पे दोनों के टेम्परेचर के बीच डिफरेंस, वंस इट विल मूव कोल्ड फ्लूइड एंड हॉट फ्लूइड बोथ विल एक्सचेंज द हीट एंड हेंस द टेम्परेचर डिफरेंस विल चेंज, but at the inlet of hot fluid and the inlet of cold fluid, they will take the difference of the temperature at these 2 points at the inlets. You will find that this is this is the maximum temperature difference, maximum possible difference. So cell side हमने क्या लिया है, hot fluid लिया है, तो TSI लिया और हमने inlet वो T जो TSI cell side fluid and tube side fluid TI. So this is the maximum possible difference. That's how you are going to define the P, that is the temperature efficiency. Now how will you define the relative thermal capacity? Relative thermal capacity तो TSI, इसमें सीधा सीधा ले लेते हैं, सेल साइड फ्लूइड टेम्परेचर का डिफरेंस ले लो TSI माइनस TSO, देन ट्यूब साइड का ले लो तो T ट्यूब साइड, इसमें आउटलेट माइनस इनलेट कर दो, आउटलेट माइनस ट्यूब साइड में, क्योंकि ये कोल्ड है तो कोल्ड में जब कोल्ड फ्लूइड आउटलेट जाएगा, ध्यान रखना ये पॉजिटिव होना चाहिए, पॉजिटिव होना चाहिए, तो पॉजिटिव होने के लिए क्या करोगे, अगर इनलेट ये जो कोल्ड फ्लूइड है आपका वो आउटलेट में ज़्यादा टेम्परेचर होगा उसका, क्योंकि वो हीट ट्रांसफर हो गया होगा हॉट फ्लूइड से, तो TO माइनस TTI ट्यूब साइड फ्लूइड इनलेट टेम्परेचर। तो अब देखो, अब हम इसे रिलेटिव थर्मल कैपेसिटी क्यों कहें, क्योंकि कैपेसिटी तो यहाँ पे कुछ आया नहीं है, तो टेम्परेचर डिफरेंस आ रहा है न्यूमरेटर डिनोमिनेटर में, बट इफ यू अप्लाई द बैलेंस तो देन इट इज MCP M.Cp tube side divided by M.Cp cell side. So this is the ratio of capacity as well. That's why this is called the relative thermal capacity. Once you have these two parameters, means P and R, then you will be able to get the value of F. Now how to get the value of F, let me tell you. How to get the value of F? Now this, for this you will have to read from the graph. This graph is given in the several books of heat transfer. हर बुक में आपको मिलेगा। तो हम x एक्सिस ग्राफ में क्या होगा, x एक्सिस होगी, y एक्सिस होगी। x एक्सिस पे हम क्या लेंगे बेटा, x एक्सिस पे हम r लेंगे, r, और y एक्सिस पे हम f लेंगे। अब मुझे ये बताओ कि f की जो मैक्सिमम वैल्यू है, f क्या है, थर्मल इफिशियंसी है, एंड इफिशियंसी की मैक्सिमम वैल्यू फ्रैक्शन में क्या होती है, 1 हो सकती है, और मैक्सिमम वैल्यू परसेंटेज में 100% हो सकती है। तो 1 होगा तो 1 से तो सारे ग्राफ नीचे जाएंगे, तो यहाँ पे यू विल टेक p एज ए पैरामीटर। सो डिफरेंट p पे जैसे आप जाओगे, यू विल इंक्रीज द p, देन दिस ग्राफ विल इंक्रीजिंग p डायरेक्शन में आप मूव किए तो इस तरह का ग्राफ आएगा। नाउ तो फॉर ए गिवन p यू कैन ड्रा द ग्राफ बिटवीन f एंड r। नाउ यू विल चेंज द p, देन यू विल गेट डिफरेंट ग्राफ, एंड अगर फिर चेंज कर रहे हो तो फिर डिफरेंट ग्राफ, तो यू विल गेट दिस सेट ऑफ कर्व्स, and this is called the family of curves, family of curves. So this is the family of curves, and you can read the value of, now you understand that once you have the value of r की वैल्यू आपको पता है, लेट्स से यहाँ पे है, और you know the value of p, suppose p की वैल्यू यहाँ पे है, यहाँ पे कोई वैल्यू है, then you can directly read off from the y axis what could be the value of this f. Okay, so once you get the value of f, then you can get the value of delta t LMTD for cell and tube heat exchanger. And once you get the cell and tube heat exchanger delta T, so delta TLM you get delta TLM for counter flow, and you get the F value. So F, so you can easily calculate U, you know, and A, U, A, F delta TLM. This should be the value of Q. So I will stop right here, and I taught you the different how to approach, how to design the heat exchanger, cost criteria and all that we will take in the next lecture. Thank you. अगर यहाँ तक कोई प्रॉब्लम हो तो आप बता सकते हैं. यहाँ तक कोई इशू है बेटा? अभी मैं अटेंडेंस फ्लोट कर दे रहा हूँ, आप लोग अटेंडेंस लगा लीजिए. आज तक जो पढ़ाया गया है वो सब सिलेबस में आएगा, हर चीज़ समझाई गई है और आपको पढ़ना है और प्रिपेयर फॉर योर टेस्ट. ओके, थैंक यू.
Thank you, sir.